It's Mauricio Mejia Live. Entertainment guru, Silicon Valley entrepreneur, author, and speaker. It's Mauricio Mejia Live every Wednesday night, 7 p.m. on the West Coast and 10 p.m. on the East. It's Mauricio Mejia Live,
bringing to you real people, real day-to-day life experiences, and real business opportunities.
If you dare to step up. Join the thousands of viewers around the world
and become a part of the conversation.
Mauricio Mejia Live, every Wednesday on Facebook and YouTube.
It's Mauricio Mejia Live.
Oh, yes. Man, I got to tell you, every time I get on the air and I go live, I get the butterflies in my stomach. It's like my first time being on my live show. So anyhow, I just want to welcome everyone. It is Mauricio Mejia Live, and we are now on episode number 27. Man, that's 27 weeks, almost half a year. And it's been longer because I started the show during quarantine. So it is now episode number 27. That means 27 weeks of this COVID virus time that we've been going down, and it's just been some crazy times. But we got to keep it moving. We got to keep our minds strong. We got to keep our health strong. We got to keep our mindset moving forward, and we got to just keep it going. And so I'm excited about all the programming that we've done. The show has taken off to some whole different levels, and I want to welcome everyone. Make sure to leave us a comment. Let us know where you're watching from. I definitely like to go back and interact with everybody. I love the comments. I love feedback, good or bad. I always love it because it just, well, I always say iron sharpens iron. So anyhow, I want to welcome everyone. Mauricio Mejia Live every Wednesday, 7 p.m. on the West Coast, 10 p.m. on the East Coast, on Facebook and YouTube. We're broadcasting around the world, and I'm very excited because our YouTube channel is growing, definitely growing to the levels that I'm very satisfied, and people are just hitting me up from all over the place. So excited. I want to say thank you to everyone for the support and all the great comments and feedback that I get every week. So, people ask, why am I here? I say, well, I'm here because I provide information on being an entrepreneur, how to start your business, and how to stay motivated, especially during times like this. How do you stay motivated, and how do you keep a stomach of steel and be able to power through these hard times? And I do this by providing the environment, the resources that'll save you time and energy so that you can cut through all the pitfalls and go from A to Z in a much shorter period. So if you're interested and you have questions, you want to talk about business, feel free to contact me. You can go directly on my website at mauriciomejia.live. That's mauriciomejia.live. You can leave a comment, and again, I'll get back to you. And again, we're hitting different subjects. For the last couple of weeks, I was really focused on the industry, the hospitality industry, the effects that the COVID has had on the whole entertainment industry, the hospitality industry, and how it really has destroyed that industry, and how they're trying to get creative and find ways to survive and come back. And as I was going through that, I thought to myself, with such a big election coming up in November, why not reach out to some of our locals, people that are running, that are either in politics right now, are running for politics. I got a great consulting firm that's going to be on here next week. I'm really excited about them, and I'm actually going to do a 2-for-1 on that one. I'm going to be interviewing Rolando Bonilla and his wife in the beginning, and then at the end of the month, we're going to be interviewing Andres Quintero, who formerly was involved in politics and now teaches at a local college or university here in San Jose. Last week, I had a good friend of mine, amazing human being, Amy Escobar, who is running for San Jose Evergreen. It's a trustee seat, district or area 7 in San Jose, and so I'm behind her. I'm supporting her, and I'm looking forward to seeing what the results are at the end of this election. We got bigger plans, and obviously I've always had an interest in politics, being even as an entrepreneur and a business owner. You learn that you have to get involved in politics because you have to get involved in your community, and community involves politics because it's people that we elect that get into these positions, and we want to have a close relationship or some type of relationship so that we're rooted with our city. tonight's guest, I'm very excited about. We've known each other for a while, and we've gotten actually closer through a mutual friend, my friend Ruben Guerrero, who's been an amazing human being in my life, has helped me transform myself. I train every morning. I go from San Jose to Gilroy. For some of you that might not know geographically where it's at, it's about a 25-minute drive south of San Jose, and I go every morning because I'm committed to my health, to the transformation, and really just committed myself to getting fit, because we're not getting any younger, and especially now during these crazy times, we got to make sure that we stay healthy. So this person again is a sitting council member for the city of Gilroy. And I like Gilroy. The only thing about Gilroy is that it smells like garlic. And why does it smell like garlic? Because if you don't know, it's the capital of the world of garlic. So Gilroy, every time you're driving south, you can smell the garlic. Actually, in San Jose, even a 25-minute drive, you can smell it up here. So you can never miss Gilroy. You know where Gilroy's at. So existing council member, running for re-election. He's got an amazing background. Was a director of the student affairs for an assistant director of admissions at Stanford University, former board of education in the city or Gilroy Unified School District, so he's a former board member, former board member of the trustees of San Jose Evergreen College District, which that's the one I was talking about Amy Escobar is running for, and studied his master's at for the School of Counseling at San Jose State. I went to San Jose State, so yeah, go Spartans. And got his bachelor's degree in psychology at St. Mary's College here in California. So without further delay, I want to welcome council member Fred Tovar. Fred, how are you, sir? Or council member Fred Tovar, how are you?
No. Hey, Fred, thank you so much.
You look like you're ready for like you've been busy. You got to be doing.
It's been a busy time.
Man, I got to say thank you for taking the time. I know that you guys have to be busy right now dealing with all the different things that are happening right now, not only in your city, but how we've been affected on a local, state, and on a federal level with all of the with COVID right now, and obviously just the crazy times that we're in, and I want to say thank you for taking the time away from your family and from your personal, taking your personal time to come here and interview with me, man.
Thank you for the invitation, and thank you, and especially thank you for supporting Gilroy and our local businesses.
I love Gilroy, man. I've been telling everyone, and I told people today, Gilroy is a gem, and people that don't know Gilroy, if you really do a little going around there, you got some Eagle Ridge. I mean, you got some wineries out there. You're a little further south of Morgan Hill. I'm seeing a lot of transformation going on in that city because of what's happening right now, even with the state that we're in, with people moving from San Francisco to San Jose, from San Jose to Morgan Hill to Gilroy to Salinas, Hollister. I mean, the people are moving because they're trying to find something that's affordable for them. But and we'll get into that.
Yeah, like I said, I appreciate that, and in regards to your comments earlier about garlic, hey, I love garlic, man, and but you also mentioned, again, we have 30 plus wineries out here. We're the gateway to wine country out here. And like I used to tell my colleagues at Stanford and all my colleagues, my elected official colleagues, our wine's not made out of garlic. We got some great wines out here, and I've had the pleasure of probably once every couple of weeks go visit a new winery that I haven't been to, and just sort of showing our love and support. And again, I just visited one called Verde Winery here in Gilroy, and man, that wine is really, really good. So I appreciate your support of our city. And
I love Gilroy, man. I got to just say, for me, I'm looking forward to doing business in the city of Gilroy. I know that I just because I can see the trends from the real estate side, the real estate development side. I think that once the infrastructure, and I think that your city is gonna you're gonna see that demand where whether it's an upgrade in infrastructure, making sure that you can supply the demand that's going to happen with the amount of people that are going to start looking further south. And I don't want to call it a small town, but a small city. It benefits off of the sales tax and then the property taxes. And you guys have been very fortunate. Not only do you have garlic, but you also have the world famous the outlets out there, the Gilroy outlets.
We have the outlets. We have the tamale festival. You know, again, the wineries out here. I mean, and again, I mean, we got so much going on, you know, which is great. And, you know, as you may know, Google and Amazon just bought land out here as well. You know, and
that came out of nowhere. That was, I mean, well, you guys know what's going on, but that, or maybe sometimes you don't even know. I mean, and I'll tell you, and it's gonna. So what I want to do is I want to structure us tonight a little bit, because we can ramble and go off tangents, because I get excited about politics. You know, I was a former. I claim to, like, I'm proud of it. I'm a former candidate. I ran for San Jose City Council for District 3, which is the downtown. I live in downtown. I've been here since 1996, and not only am I a business owner in downtown, but I really wanted to get involved in politics, because I found myself becoming a business politician. And because being in the district that I'm in, we're in the core of San Jose. So I know what triggered me to get into politics. Give us background on you, man. Give us some history about you, like born and raised, family, upbringing. Let's let people know who Fred Tovar is.
Well, let me start off by telling you again, the garlic. You know, I'm about to turn 51 next week, but all the garlic that I eat, I look like I'm 21. So, you know, garlic's good for you. You know, it was interesting. You know, I've had such an interesting but yet rewarding and life journey. You know, I was born and raised in East San Jose. You know, my parents migrated from Mexico right before my older brother was born. And, you know, we lived in East San Jose for, you know, 20, 30 years, you know, and, you know, both my parents, you know, farm workers, my mom worked in the canneries, my dad construction. So it was really just sort of seeing sort of the hard work that my parents were doing. And I remember as a teenager, I remember one day my dad says, "You're going to work with me." I said, "Dad, I can do whatever you do. I can do it half the time." You know, that was one of the life-changing moments in my entire life, where he woke me up at 4:00 in the morning, took me on site with him at his construction job, and within 10 minutes I said, "I can't do this. I can't do this." You know, and you know, and I that's when I realized that, you know what, I wanted to do something with my life. And again, all the props, credit in the world for those hardworking, you know, workers out there. You know, I appreciate everything that they do. But it was interesting because one of the things, and it's, you know, I have two beautiful children, you know, they're older now, but I remember as kids, one of the things that we used to say to each other, our little slogan to each other was, "Don't talk about it, be about it." Right? Yes. That's what I live by, you know. And I remember, you know, and I've been fortunate enough to have mentors in my life. And I remember I went to Mount Pleasant High School there in East San Jose. And I remember I wasn't sure what I wanted to do. I was actually a shy kid, believe it or not. I loved to talk, but I was shy. And I remember it was my senior year in high school, and I still didn't know what I wanted to do. And
Fred, are we
Jim DDA. I'm still here. Can you hear me?
You're good.
Yeah. No, so I had an English teacher, Mr. DiDiego, who really changed my life. I remember one day in class, he says, "Fred, I need to talk to you after class." I said, "Oh, I'm in trouble here, right?" But he asked me, he says, "Hey, what do you plan on doing with your life after, you know, graduate?" I said, "I have no idea." I said, "I think I'm gonna go work with my dad." He says, "Have you ever thought about college?" I said, you know, again, my parents migrated from Mexico, and you know, unfortunately, they didn't have a chance to get their higher education. But he said, "You know what?" He says, "Let's talk about it." And he really sat me down and mentored me. And this man took me to Evergreen College and paid for my first year of college. And for me, that was like, wow, somebody really believed in me here, you know. And you know, I that was sort of the start of sort of my you know, my journey here. And I remember when I was at Evergreen, I had a counselor by the name of Josie Gutierrez. And I remember I was there a couple of years, and she calls me into her office and she says, "Fred, it's time for you to leave Evergreen." I said, "Leave? Where am I supposed to go?" She says, it's time for you to transfer. And she says, well, let's start looking at these Ivy League schools. And I was like, where is this Ivy League school you keep talking about? I mean, again, college wasn't something that, we were brought up thinking about. It was just, again, very humble family. And this woman, I mean, she took me to Stanford, St. Mary's, Berkeley, San Jose State. I mean, this woman on her own dime took me out to visit these schools and said, Fred, you're going. And, she helped me apply. I applied to Stanford, Harvard, Yale, Berkeley. But I ended up at St. Mary's College, and I think I needed that
It's a great school. It's a great school.
And I tell you, I think my experience there, because I was the first in my family to go to college. And, again, when I was at St. Mary's, this is 20 some years ago. And I think I was one of the only individuals in all my classes of Hispanic descent, and so I felt out of place because, again, I didn't see people of my own skin color, but, it didn't stop me because I knew there was folks that I knew that were there in previous years, but that dropped out because of the cultural shock that they had of not being around their own, and for me, it was a challenge. And I said, I remember the first day of school when I moved out there, and I roll up in my little Chevette and little Chevy Chevette I had, and I go up to St. Mary's, beautiful campus and private, and I seen all these Mercedes, BMWs, and here I am in this beat up little Chevette, right? And, I was like, wow. And I remember I called home the very first night when I was in my dorm. I said, Mom, I can't do this. I can't do this. And she tells me, you have to do it. I said, Mom, I can't. She said, you're not coming home. And then she threw the bomb.
We already gave away your room to somebody else, so you
right? No, exactly. You know what? No, and I'm fortunate enough to have 3 awesome brothers. And I remember she told me, she says, "You can't come back. You can't leave." I said, "Why?" She says, "Because your brother paid for your college." And I said, "Wow." Right then and there, I said, "You know what? There's no way I can let my family down." And so yeah.
Let me ask you, your siblings, you just mentioned, how many brothers and sisters do you have?
I have 3 brothers. My oldest brother, Carlos, is doing really, really well. My other brother, Oscar, who's a fire captain for the city of San Jose, and he's close to retirement. And then my youngest brother, Rudy, who actually today is his birthday. So happy birthday,
nice.
Rudy.
Happy birthday to Rudy. Yeah, I like Rudy. I met him.
Okay. Yeah, and he was in the Navy and doing some good stuff, And
thank you for servicing our, serving our country, man. Thank you. Yeah.
So then when I finished St. Mary's, I knew what I wanted to do. I knew that politics and education is what I wanted to do. And I remember, I'm the type of person, when you tell me I can't do something or you put doubt in me, I'm going to use that as motivation.
Absolutely.
And I remember, unfortunately, and this is sort of why I got into higher ed, and spent close to 20 years at Stanford. I remember I had somebody tell me one time, when I first started off college, she asked me what I wanted to do. I said, I want to do 2 things. I want to be an educator and I want to be a politician. And back then, this is 30 some years ago. And she says, well, due to your background, your language, this and that, she says, I don't think that's the right fit for you. I said, well, okay, What do you think I should be doing? It devastated me. It really, really did. And she told me that I'd be a really good auto mechanic. I said, oh, that's a great profession, but that wasn't for me.
Wow.
Right. And so that was my motivation. And I remember I said, you know what? I changed my mind. One day I want to be your boss. And she laughed at it. Right. And that's where my drive came from. And I remember when I got elected onto the San Jose Evergreen Community College Board back in 2002. And by the way, I'm wishing Miss Escobar good luck on that. And I remember when I was there, I got elected. I remember the first day I went and spoke with the chancellor, and I said, we need to get rid of this person, because if she said that to me, I can guarantee you she's saying it to other people.
Ouch.
And luckily enough, we let her go. And so my drive and my push going to into politics, that was one of the reasons. And I've had some great people to push me, and a good friend of mine, old friend of mine, Jason Rodriguez, who was on the Allen Rock School Board. He's the one that really opened my eyes and said, hey, you can do this. You can do this. And so that's sort of where my passion came for politics. And that's, I spent 4 years on the community college board, and it was such a great experience, because when I was on there, I see myself as someone who brings people together.
Yep.
But also someone, I might not be the loudest voice in the room, but I can tell you behind the scenes, I'm out there pushing. And I remember You have to.
The loudest voice is what we have right now, and the loudest voice sometimes is not the right voice that we need.
Exactly.
We need that we need people that are, one, have decency,
Right.
have compassion, understand. I know, and while you were talking, I was listening and kind of reflecting on my life as well. You know, what got me into where I wanted to be as an entrepreneur and never wanted to have a job or work for anyone was similar to what you had. Your father took you to work. My uncle, I would go. My mother, I grew up with a single mom in Los Angeles, and every summer we would fly to the East Coast. My uncle owned one of the largest pool building companies in the East Coast.
Wow.
And I mean, I got to swim. I was like the guy that tested all the swimming pools when they filled them up during the summer. So I got to see some amazing swimming pools. And I remember as a little boy, I wanted to get this bike. Back then, the BMX bikes and all that. And the bike I wanted was like $400. So my uncle said, "Well, you're gonna earn your bike. You want that one?" I said, "Yes." He says, "Okay, it's yours." And I'm like, "Yes, let's go, let's take it." He's like, "No, you're gonna earn it." And I was like, but why can't I take it?" And then, he's like, "No, you're gonna work for it, but that bike is yours. If you want it, it's yours." And I remember, I'm like, well, I was so excited, and I got up early. I mean, I was up at the butt crack of dawn. I was like excited. And the first assignment he gave me was, "You're gonna dig a hole right here," because we had to put the cinder blocks. I didn't know why we were digging a hole, but we had to dig for the foundation. And he says, "You're gonna dig a hole here, and you're gonna start on this one." So obviously they gave me the smallest one. And 30 minutes into digging a hole, I had blisters on my hands, and I didn't really know what the blisters were. And I just remember that before even lunchtime, they were already blistered, and I made the mistake of popping it, and then I started to cry because it hurt so bad. And I remember my first day, I remember sitting in the car, and I told my uncle, I said, "Uncle, I don't want to do this." He's like, "Well, how are you going to get your bike?" And I said, and I thought about it, and I'm like, "But this hurts, this really hurts," and I'm crying. And he says, "That's why I need you to stay and think bigger and do bigger things in life." So he started to plant those seeds in my mind, and he says, "You don't have to be the guy that digs the hole. You can be the guy that manages, or you can be the mind that controls." I had another mentor of mine that says, "Mauricio, don't be the hands that does the work. Be the brains that controls 100 hands." And I was like, obviously those are the metaphors and the examples they shared. But my uncle really planted those seeds in me, so that gave me the drive to want more in life. And I remember I finished my assignment because I was committed to that, and I really wanted my bike. So there was a want, but I wasn't just going to get it because my uncles could get it. So I earned it. But that planted the seeds, and I could see that instilled and triggered some of the switches in our mind that we can do more, and we can have more, because we live in the greatest country in the world.
Yeah, I agree.
This is the land of opportunity, and your parents came here to provide for you and your brothers a better life. So look, and that just, I mean, look where you're at today. That's amazing to look back, and your brother, successful fire captain, you said, city of San Jose, third largest city in California. So to be that, your other brother, all your brothers seem to be doing well, and then for you, I mean, it's great because you're giving back. You're doing your service. You're serving the people, and the people of the city of Gilroy should be proud of that, man. So awesome.
Thank you. It's interesting because somebody asked me, "Man, aren't you tired of sort of the politics and this and that?" And I said, "You know what? I've been in public office. This is my 16th year," and I told them I have more passion for it today than I've ever. Working with the folks and meeting people, and for me, it's not. I don't care what sort of race you follow or whatever. For me, it's that we need to work together.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Right now, we're so divided in this in the state, in this country, in this world. But you know what? This is not the first time that this world has been here. History. As I've gotten older, I remember when I was younger, people used to say, "Oh, history always repeats itself," and I didn't understand what history repeats itself meant. But history is repeating itself, and it's just a different version with different tools, with different technologies, different ways of information flying or traveling. and we're repeating something from the past with just newer technology and just ways of getting the message out. And you have a lot of other things that in your past, and in the things that you've been involved. Let's talk about Gilroy. Gilroy has the world famous Gilroy Garlic Festival.
Yeah.
Not too long ago. I mean, I don't think last year. I don't think you guys even had one, right? It was the year before, 2 years ago. There was. I mean, share with us what happened with that.
Yeah, our world famous garlic festival is every July.
Yeah.
End of July. So yeah, unfortunately,
first time I tried garlic ice cream. I'm like, what? Okay.
Well, a couple years ago, we had garlic beer. So, I mean, it was actually pretty good. Yeah. So this past July, due to everything that happened the previous year, it was canceled. But, I know that, everyone I talk to, and I know the garlic festival, they're pushing for next year, so we're going to come back stronger than ever before, and
you guys came up after that tragedy. I mean, it made world international news. Sad to say, I don't even want to touch on the negative side of it. I just want to touch on the fact that you guys came out of it. Thank God that the tragedy could have been worse if it wasn't for some people out in the public that really jumped in, activated really quick, and you guys came out and you guys came up with Gilroy Strong, man.
And it's amazing. Thank you for that. Yeah, and again, I mean, for me, I was actually there the day of the shooting, and I was volunteering, and I remember it was Sunday, the last day. It was usually Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and I
think we lost him really quick. He'll jump back on right now. I know this internet stuff has been tricky. So right now we have a guest, city council member from the city of Gilroy, Fred Tovar. Fred, if you can hear us, let's see what happens here. We just lost him. He'll get rebooted. Anyhow, I want to thank everyone that's watching us right now. Thank you for the comments. Please let us know where you're at. We got Raj in the house. We got Madeline, Nacho, Ciara, and Patty Tovar. You guys must be family members. All right, so we lost him. Hopefully he'll jump back on right now. Just reboot. Let me send him a quick message. Reboot. And this happens sometimes, guys. Technology. So, again, we just got to keep moving forward. So we're talking to council member Fred Tovar from the city of Gilroy, where he's running for re-election. And we're talking about politics, and there we go. Let's see what he just popped back up.
Sorry.
There we go. No worries. You're back. You're back.
All right, I'm back.
Hey, don't worry. So I got to share a quick story because I've never had a guest fall off. I've always been the one that falls off. And literally on my 10th show, I have a special guest. I have Stedman Graham, Oprah's other half. He's on the show with me, and I'm like, of course it has to happen on the biggest show that I have, on the 10th one, especially being you, and we're learning all this technology, and I fall off, and I'm about to I want to just punch my computer, but I know if I do that, then we're done. And I have him, I can watch him, and then a friend of mine, she's a news anchor. She texts me. She says, "Hey, Stedman is still talking. Tell him to talk." So I call him on the phone, and he picks up the phone while he's live on the air, and I go, "Hey, keep talking. They can see you." So he just jumps in and just starts talking to people, and then I jump back on. So don't worry about it, man. It happens.
Yeah.
Hey, this is technology. So
technology. Yeah. No. Thank
Anyways,
you.
So Gilroy Garlic Festival. We know that it's gonna, God willing, everything. We'll see what happens in 2021 with all of this COVID and this social distancing and just all the things that we're dealing with today. I keep hearing, and I want to be optimistic. I hope that it ends sooner than later, but from the way that they're talking, and if you follow the way that they're slowly but surely allowing things to open up, they're going to do it gradually. I'm hoping that by summer 2021, but if not, prepare. I would say that 2022 is going to be the year that the world comes back strong.
Right.
And I'm planning for the what I call the roaring 20s. Of it's again, if you think about history repeating itself, The
Yeah.
1920s, man. We just can't. There was just some crazy times going on, different ways of communicating message. They had the Spanish virus back then. Why they got to blame it on the Spanish people? But
No, but, and I appreciate that. And if you don't
yeah,
mind, I just want to
yeah.
make sure, because again, the day of the tragedy, obviously, I was walking out of there talking to our great Gilroy police officers and firefighters, and we're walking down the street and we just hear these, shooting, and the way that our first responders, our police department responded to that, and we're able to really handle it in within a minute.
Yes.
That it was incredible. It was incredible, and it was interesting because that night, and I have to give props to a lot of my friends and businesses. I remember that night. One of my good friends, Raj Nahar, who owns Straw Hat, he calls me up at 11. He was actually there with me. He took off because they had to go back to the restaurant, and he had to take off to go home. And he lives in Fremont, right? He calls me up at 11 p.m. saying, "Hey, you okay?" He says, "I'm on my way back." I said, "What's up?" He says, "Let's make food for everybody."
Wow.
And this guy, I had to tell you, over the, since that tragedy for about 2 or 3 weeks, this guy must have given out 600 pizzas and all types of donations. And I remember that the next day after the Garlic Festival, we met at Straw Hat Pizza and said, "What can we do as a group? What can we do?" And we came up with the Gilroy Strong. And said, "You know what? It's about giving back. Let's go out there. Let's do what we can." And it was nothing about publicity for us, and we didn't trademark it. We didn't do any of that. It was just like, what can we do? And as a community, we worked really well, and that's why I love Gilroy. And I have to tell you how I ended up in Gilroy. But
let's get to that, because San Jose, and then you went through. So you were doing the educational. You were on the trustee. You were going to run for city council for San Jose.
Yeah. So back in 2000.
Oh man, we lost it again. There we go. All right, there we go. You're back.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Laura Campos was a city council member, and I remember her and I met, and she was pushing me to run for city council. And and obviously that was my plan in the very beginning. Just sort of working my way up. But unfortunately, my mom got really sick at that time. And they moved to Gilroy and built a beautiful ranch house out here. And I told her, I said, if it wasn't for that, I would have jumped at that in a heartbeat. I said, but my heart and my dedication was with my parents, and that's why I decided to move out to Gilroy 16 plus years ago. And for me at the time, I was a big city guy. I wanted to be around all that hustle and bustle, and I moved out here, and my plan was only a couple years, so let me help take care of my mom. Again, my mom, since then she's had a liver transplant, a double bypass. Unfortunately she has dementia now. Amputation, to go through dialysis 3 times a week. She needs a kidney transplant, and I was actually going to get tested.
It's a true Mexicana right there, bro.
Right.
She ain't going down without a fight.
She ain't going down with a fight,
She ain't going down without a fight,
right.
man. So you better use that as a motivation right there.
I tell you, a couple of years ago, I got tested because I was going to donate my kidney to her, but unfortunately, given her health right now, there isn't a hospital that will do it. So if and when that day comes, I'm ready to go. But, so again, I moved out here to say, okay, let me help take care of my parents, and I remember I met some really great people when I first moved out here, and they're like, "Fred, you gotta run for office. You gotta run for office, and so they pushed me. And I thought maybe I was gonna go back onto the community college board, but they pushed me to run for the school board, the Gilroy School Board, and nice. I spent 8 years on there, and I loved it. I loved it. I helped champion several different things. Two of the things I remember I helped champion was the community service. Required community service before you graduate. And
nice.
I used to tell parents, teachers, I said, look, doing admissions at Stanford, so we should have more Gilroy students going to schools like Stanford. So what's separating them from everybody else? And again. Right. Our students out here in Gilroy are top notch, and I said, let's add to the resume. And
right. Important. That's very important. Yes.
That's why I push for the community sports, being banned, whatever it is, you could not hit an F. Yeah. And that motivated folks students say, if I want to be active and play, I got to study hard, and so those are things I did. And I remember my second term after 8 years, I said, I love education, but I was talking with some folks, and I said, I want to help change Gilroy as a whole. And I was very, very involved. And I remember I had people say, run for city council, and I thought, what, I think that's my next step, and I had some great support of my fellow school board members at the time. I remember I called each and every one of them individually, and I said, I need your honest opinion. And everyone said, do it, and luckily enough, I got elected, I got the most votes. And I think what I've been doing now is, again, I think I fight for the people. I fight for our businesses. I fight for local businesses, for working families, and I'm out there, and people say, man, everywhere I go, you're at an event or you're doing something. And people say, oh, you're downtown Fred because you're always out there. I said, I want to be around people,
I love it. See, you're part. You got your own downtown, man. You're part of your own city. So,
right.
I love the energy in downtown Gilroy. I'm telling you, it's a diamond in the rough. Doing real estate developments and owning different types of businesses, whether it's the restaurants, the bars, or other types of businesses. I believe that being that I know Gilroy is business friendly and wants to bring it in, we might have to start thinking outside the box for the future. I'm some high density housing, high density housing near that railroad track, because that's a gateway to the Silicon Valley up to San Francisco. That train takes you all the way to San Francisco. Imagine if you were to build some mid-rise to high-rise, but believe it or not, some high-rise type of buildings that would make sense, because it would make sense because imagine going up and then you get to see the valleys, you get to see that's how I think. It just, again, I don't know with the zoning, the planning and all that stuff. That's the politics, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And, but imagine thinking outside the box, because we in the state of California have a housing crisis.
Right.
Not only are we going through a pandemic, but we're going through another pandemic of the not enough housing for people, and that's why we're also seeing the other epidemic, which is homelessness. We have a big homeless problem in the state of California, and it's not just state of California. This is a nationwide problem, but we're seeing it in California. Really, like, it's in our face. It's in our freeways. It's on local neighborhoods, and people don't really. The people in the suburbs ignore it because it hasn't reached out, but it's starting to reach out into the suburbs, and then that's when people start to pay attention. So, we have to find creative ways and be able to, not just the affordable housing, but also think of other ways and. Maybe it's the city of Gilroy that pops up, a high-rise that you're not looking at waterfront, but you're looking at the valley, know. So
and those are two very, very important, issues that you're raising. And I think as a city council, we've been very proactive as a body. I'm lucky enough to be joining a couple other council members where we started a homeless task force, committee. It's like, let's think outside of the box, let's work. And I'm lucky enough to have great friendships and support with our sister city, Morgan Hill, and their city council manager, and just working together, because
they're blowing up over there, bro. You better pay attention.
And again,
but you guys got the Gilroy outlets, bro. No, I'm not worried about that, council member. You got the outlets. They only have the car dealerships. You have the outlets. So.
But just sort of working together, and I think and especially when we look at talking about affordable housing, and sometimes people say, well, it's the east side versus west side, and as one council member, I look at it this way. I want the east side to be treated as well as the west side. I want the west side to be treated as well as the east side, and I've said it over and over and over again. It's that if we're going to do a project on the west side or on the east side, if it's on the east side, I want it to be just as beautiful as it is on the other side of town, and I don't want this side to be different than that side. I want us all to work together, and then the other thing too, and I've been a champion for, in the 16 years that I've been in public office. I've been a champion of local businesses, hiring local businesses, hiring within from our police department. And for example, we just appointed our new police chief, Pedro Espinoza, who's been with us for many, many years. So he's within, and to have somebody that's inside and working and knows our community. For me, that's what it's funny because I say I sound like a broken record at our meeting. miles away when we can hire somebody 20 miles away or from our city. And that's always been my push. It's like, let's hire within, let's find local businesses, let's keep the money in our city.
Right.
You know,
you have to. I mean, you have to. You obviously you designated an area where you bring in all the big national chains, and then at the same time, you want to cultivate culture, internal city culture. You want to embrace the people of the community, so that they're not always walking into a national chain. They're walking into a mom and pop, supporting the mom and pop, because that's the American dream. Those are the roots. At the same time, everyone's got to be realistic. The world is changing. The world, you got these big juggernauts like Amazon, and the Googles and all this stuff. They're coming in and they start swallowing up all these smaller companies because they're swallowing up talents. They want to dominate. But at the same time, City of Gilroy has its charm. There's only one garlic capital of the world. That's Gilroy. Right. And then you also have other things. Maybe what it comes down to is branding, and for me, I'm a marketing guy, so I always think of the branding opportunities. I didn't know you guys had 30 wineries in Gilroy.
Oh yeah.
That's to me, and to say that you're the gateway. I mean, you really think about it. If you guys are the gateway to not only the wine country but the Silicon Valley. Gilroy is is one of the last cities of the county, Santa Clara County. So once you get into Gilroy, you're in Santa Clara County, and Santa Clara County is Silicon Valley. Right. So,
and like you said, I mean, we got so much to offer. And it's interesting because we talked about sort of the Gilroy Strong and sort of the great work that my friends and colleagues did on that. And the city of Gilroy, from our city manager to our council members, everyone, just the great work that everybody did when that happened. But it was interesting because, when you talk about sort of what Gilroy has to offer, I was talking with some local business owners recently, Ann and Adam from Milo's Restaurant and Bruce from Cafe 152. And I said, how do we start promoting Gilroy? How do instead of saying Gilroy Strong, now we should be Gilroy Proud. Let's start promoting. It's time.
I like that. Gilroy Proud. I like that.
Proud.com. Right? Yeah. And the goal of that website is sort of help promote, educate, mentor, organize volunteer opportunities, support local businesses, and really ensure fun ways that the residents of Gilroy can get involved. And I thank those folks for really encouraging me and pushing me. And the website is say, this is who we are. If you want to be involved, look at there. We're promoting businesses, events, opportunities, mentorships. I'm lucky enough to be working with a couple high school graduates and college students, and we created an organization called South County Youth for Change.
Wow,
and it's
nice.
really to work with the youth and give them a voice. Give them a voice, but also an opportunity to express themselves. And I've been mentoring individuals for many, many years, and I always like to say, I always want to pay it forward. Pay it forward. You have to, and I've been lucky enough to be put in positions where I love to give back. And that's sort of how I stayed in Gilroy. Because the city has been so good to me. And
it seems like the city embraced you when you without you knowing that you were going to end up in the position that you're in. Right. The city of Gilroy embraced you, your family, and you rerouted yourself from not too far from the roots, but you went further south, and Gilroy just became your new home. And
it became my home, and I love it. I tell people, I'm not afraid to say it. I love Gilroy more than almost anybody, because again, they've been so good to my kids, Jordan and Sierra, and obviously my family and me especially, and I've met great people. And again, people may not always agree with the decisions I make on city council, but I'll tell you, when it's something I believe in that I feel is right for the city, right for the residents, you can't change my mind. No pressure will change my mind, because I think with my heart, how do we make this a better city? And unfortunately, some people may not agree with my decisions, but deep down inside, I know that what I'm doing and what I'm deciding and what decisions I make, it's not for me, it's for the residents of Gilroy. That's why I love what I do.
How many years have you been on? There's no term limits, right?
Yeah,
so
no, I thought, like I said, 4 years on college board, 8 years school board, and I'm wrapping up my 4th year on city council, and hopefully this November I'll get reelected again. And I'm honored and appreciate all the great endorsement department, to the fire department, to the Chamber of Commerce, our local elected officials in Gilroy, Morton Hill, our assembly member, Robert Rivas. I mean, the Chamber of Commerce. So, I've worked really hard to do what I do, and again, like I said, I have more passion today than I did 16 years ago.
Let me ask you, as a council member there, do you have a, because I know some cities, council member is not a full-time job.
Right.
So do you do something else aside from being a council member there?
Well, yeah. So here in Gilroy, we work off a stipend. Basically, it's a part-time, and I say, we put in 20 to 30 hours a week.
Oh, wow.
And most of us have full-time jobs and families and all of that. So you have to be dedicated. You have to be dedicated.
You're doing double shift. You're doing
right.
double time.
I'll give you an example. You talked about the train. When I was at Stanford for almost 20 years, I took the train from here to Stanford, and it was a 3.5-hour round trip ride for me. And those days that I had meetings, I stressing out. If there was a delay on the train, I'm calling, hey, I'm on my way. But like I said, I don't see it as a job. It's something I love to do, and I'm lucky enough to be put in these type of positions, and that's why I have so much passion, so much energy. And fun fact, I've never had coffee in my life. Right?
What?
So
we met at a coffee shop the other day.
No,
you're right. You were drinking water.
Exactly. I've never had coffee. So people say, where do you get all this energy? I said, it's just a passion I have for life, and for what I do. And
I like that. And I think Gilroy does that. I'm going to share with you a fun fact too. For me, every day I drive to literally almost every day. I drive to the city of Gilroy from San Jose. I live from downtown San Jose to Gilroy, where I go to pound for pound. I train with Ruben Guerrero, and it takes me, if I leave like at 6:25, I know I'm gonna get there right on time. It's about a 35-minute drive, depending, because of the even traffic going southbound, and I'm going pretty fast. So I'll get there, and I do it every day. Why? Because I just excuse me. I love the energy that I get when I come down there. I mean, the garlic is a little intense, but hey, that it wakes you up. You're like, all right, vámonos. And I love the energy there, man. It just so, and I got to be honest. The homes, I traveled to some areas where we had parked the trailer at, and I saw the homes in that area, and I was like, wow, these are. It felt good. I'm not a big ranch style home person, but just the fact all that land and I mean, I'm thinking opportunities. How do you chop this land up and build more homes and be the developer there? But now I'm thinking like, wow, this is peaceful. You can hear the wind, you can hear the birds, and I'm a city guy. I hear cars and planes and sirens all day, so I'm immune to it. But city of Gilroy's got an amazing charm, and I love it. Let me ask you, obviously I can't even say what do you do to serve your community. You've been serving, majority of your life, your community. What keeps you motivated and what keeps you going? I mean, it's aside from doing, you're having your full-time, your gig, your commitment to the city of Gilroy, finding time with your family. What keeps I know that love and passion are one, but what juices you up, man? How do you do it?
And again, it goes back to sort of my upbringing. I mean, like I said, my mom is really sick. She's on hospice care. She's been on hospice for a couple months now, and she doesn't want to leave us. And I pray to God every day. She doesn't want to leave us. She's a fighter, and my dad, I'm praying that my dad's going to retire, this month, and he's been working hard every single day, and I think those two individuals in particular, and obviously my son Jordan, my daughter Sierra, I mean, those are folks who, being in politics, especially for 16 years, it takes a toll. It really does, not only on your personal life, your family, everything, your job, everything, and luckily enough, they've all been really supportive of me, and I'm very humble. I don't talk about sort of what I do to my family, my parents, because it's not about me. It's about, again, just making positive change and seeing what they all have done for me and the hard work that they're doing, my brothers, everything, my friends, for me, it's like, that's what motivates me. It's like, I want to be that change. I want to be that person that speaks for the entire, community, and I listen to everybody. I listen to every that, and I say, hey, yeah, maybe my decision was wrong now that I think about it. And I'm one to say, you know what? Okay, I made the wrong choice. And I don't have a problem if I feel that after the fact, I have no problem admitting, you know what, maybe I should have looked at it a different way.
Sometimes you have to do that. You have to, in order to move forward, sometimes you have to take a step back and reflect and really acknowledge, we all make mistakes.
Right.
At the same time, your people are not going to always agree with us, and people are not going to always love us.
Right.
And you have to balance all of that and continue to move forward. I mean, if you were to read and listen to every critic that has criticized you, I don't think you would be in the seat that you're in right now. And I know for a fact, sometimes I've read some of the things that they say about me, and I'm just like, ouch. Like, have you, I've gone to the point where, like, hey man, sorry you feel that way about me, but here's my phone number. If you feel like you want to have a conversation, give me the opportunity to know me, because people make a lot of assumptions, man.
Right.
And
you're absolutely right in that. And I think that's where my master's degree in counseling comes in handy, because again, I think, and my advice to anybody who's thinking about running for office, understand what it entails. It's not only going to affect you, it's going to affect your family, your friends, and again, not everybody's going to agree with you. And if you're someone that wants to be liked by everybody, you're going to have a hard time. And I look at it this way. I feel that I can get along with anybody if you give me the opportunity, but yet it takes a toll, and I'm strong enough to say, hey, you know what? I'm going to fight through this. I'm going to work through this. And, and again, like I mentioned earlier, I see myself as someone who brings people together. And from my school board to my college board to city council, every meeting, I go up to every council member. I either hug them or shake their hand and say, hey, good to see you. No matter what side of the political party you're on, for me, we need to work together. The ultimate goal.
People are people, man. This right now, again, our country is so divided. With the just the way things are right now, it's unfortunate that we're so divided that way. But leadership like yours, you have decency, man. You're human. You have that the kindness, the touch. You're compassionate. Right now, you can't be a bully and try to get things done, and that just doesn't work, man. And you're right. I got a lot of friends that are, obviously, I'm a Democrat, proud Democrat. I want to call myself a moderate. Look, man, I'm a Democrat with common sense, and I got a lot of friends and business people that I've known and done business with that are Republicans, and when we're sitting at the table, we're having a human conversation, a decent conversation. And then just like there's in the Republicans and there's some in the Democrats, they're just extremes. And it's just, again, being the loudest voice in the room doesn't get you the best results. It's about having compassion. It's about having decency and being able to reason with people. People start using like on my platform, I put a couple of silly posts up, and next thing you know, it becomes the battleground. So I like to comment on them and say, hey, please, you're more than welcome to leave your comment, but don't start using my platform as your battleground. Exactly. Because if you do, then you're disrespecting me, and you're disrespecting my right to say what I want to say. And I'm not. I pick and choose because, again, I have plenty of things that I need to be aware of as well, and that's because I'm careful at the same time on what I want to do and the messages that I want to put out. I don't want to be the loudest guy in the room. I want to be the smartest guy. And if I'm not, I want to be surrounded by other smart people that can help elevate the room for all of us, not just me, but all of us. And that's what it takes to be a leader, And
you're absolutely right. Like I said, I'm a proud Democrat as well, but I also know that I have to work with everybody, and as long as we have the same common goal, what's best for the city, I will find a way to work with you, no matter sort of what what side you're on. And for me, I've never asked any of my fellow council members, what are you, what rate, what political, that doesn't matter to me. What matters is we're working together, because it takes 4 votes to make things happen, and I am just one vote. And if I can't get along with other folks, then there's nothing I can do for change. And that's why, like I said, I have great relationships with all of them, and for me, it's the respect part of it, and just the way I ran my political campaign this year, it's all about positivity, and I don't throw anybody under the bus. And, when we had these forums, the one thing that I kept hearing from a lot of the candidates was they want to continue doing what the current council is doing. So for me, I know that we're doing good stuff.
There you go. There you go. So, and as long as you got the support of the people, and you have we have to look, man. For me, this month is very important. This year is very important. This pandemic has affected everyone. I don't care who you are. It's affected. Even the wealthy have gotten affected by it. And sometimes we hear, oh, the wealthier just get wealthier. No, they just know how to manage and get certain things. But it's also affected people in so many ways. I really want to believe that our voting system works. I know it's not perfect. I want people to get out there and vote. That's why, again, this month I'm dedicating all my shows to the people that are involved in politics, that are either sitting in a seat right now or running for a seat or have helped multiple people. Next week, I have Rolando Bonilla. I don't know if Rolando's an amazing human being. I'm actually going to have Perla on the show for the first half hour.
Good people.
Yeah, man, it's and I know that he's worked in San Francisco. He got an opportunity to work with Kamala Harris and Willie Brown, and just a lot of great people. So I'm gonna like to hear those stories. But again, and then we ended with Andres Quintero, who was involved in politics, and
good man,
amazing human being. Let me ask you, so you've been on the local level. Have you ever thought of maybe a county or state, races in the future?
Yeah, no, thank you for asking.
You're still young, man. Come on.
Hey, it's the garlic and the wine out here. It makes you young, so come visit us.
Better stay away from all that pizza with Raj over there, buddy.
Hey, still had pizza, best pizza in town. But no, that's a great question, and I've been asked that, many, many times. And, when I first ran for the college board, I said, okay, this is sort of, I'm going to learn politics. And, I had such a great experience. And then my 8 years on the school board taught me a lot as well, but again, you don't just jump into public office and it all right away. I mean, this is 16 years and you learn something new every single day, and like I said, I've always, from, my kids telling me over and over, don't talk about it, be about it. Right. Jordan and Sierra, right. And, and I've thought about it.
You got some cool kids that are pushing you, man. They're not afraid to tell you what's up.
Right. Hey, I got a good.
Oh man.
And, I think I'm looking at that down the road. Assembly, and I remember early in my career, I said, I really want to move up. I want to get that experience. I want to be in education, Paul. I want to do all. I don't want to be someone who just throws their name in the hat without any experience, and I think, Assembly, Senate. I mean, I have all those, goals in life that I want to do. And as you can tell, I use my hands a lot because I'm passionate about it.
One race at a time, buddy. One race at a time. There you go.
For me, it's like this. I'm in no hurry. Let me do what I'm doing now. Let me do it well. And if the time and opportunity come, obviously, because Robert Rivas is doing a great job, if that time comes down the road, then if there's an opportunity, then it's something I'll think about, But I always go back to my friends and my inner circle and say, hey, what do you think? What do you think? And, for a while there, I was thinking about running for mayor here in Gilroy, but I decided not to. I said, let me continue doing what I'm doing as a council member, and, that's in my future as well. So, I look at everything. As long as I get the support and people who believe in me, and I feel I'm doing a good job, first and foremost, then I'll go from there, and like I said,
good job for the people.
Yeah. And that's why I do it, and like I said, politics takes a toll. It really does. And, I have to thank, everybody in my family, for supporting me and understanding that when, Dad's upset or grumpy or whatever, it's because I got a lot on my mind, and again, I don't bring that home, and I don't share sort of what I'm going through or whatever with my family, because I don't, that's not what it's about. It's about how do I make it better? How do I make things better? And I think that's where my educations come in.
Some people can be very ugly, man, and where you don't have superhuman powers. You just have to learn how to manage and push that out. I don't know, and I'm not asking what you believe in or not, but God, the universe, has its way, and whatever you believe in, you just got to continue to believe and have faith, and know that this too shall pass, and you got to continue to move forward with brute force,
right?
And especially right now, I mean, for me as an entrepreneur, business owner, putting people to work, people depend on what I do, because the buck stops with me. I got to continue to push forward, and again, a lot of families are depending on the work that I provide, and on the job and opportunities, and that's why I'm a deal junkie. I'm an entrepreneur. I love creating. I love creating businesses. I love working with people that want to create, and I love, as I've learned more about working with cities, I love to work with cities that are thinking outside the box. Right. And that are willing to take those risks and challenges. And I got some amazing mentors. I'm excited that I'm opening up our new headquarters here in downtown San Jose. We got a 40,000 square foot building. The people that are going to be in those office spaces, I can't share because I got to keep a certain level of privacy. Right. But there's some amazing talent, movers and shakers, and I'm blessed to be around them. And then not only that, but the relationships and the people that they've introduced, and that's Fred, that's how we crossed paths, because of relationships and of other things. I've worked on a couple of projects down in your city, a couple developments, and and hopefully things will get wrapped up. I mean, obviously, COVID again has really put a damper into a lot of things, but human beings are resilient. We will power through. We just have to keep our mind straight and not let all the noise create those distractions that are that could potentially derail us. And one of the best things, and I don't want to say, because I'm a competitive guy and I want to win, and I'm just about like dale gas. And when I ran for city council, it was a crowded race. I came in 4th place, and what the crazy part was, the best thing that happened to me was losing in that race. Now, I could have ran again, because they say, well, you're not always going to make it on the first time. But by that losing that first time, I got to learn a lot of what happens, and I felt that I was that I've actually have accomplished a lot more being on the outside versus being on the inside, because my mind, I would have probably gotten in trouble by now, or by the first week of before even getting what do you call it, sworn in. I would have probably been already in trouble for doing something, because I just so outside the box thinking without thinking of the rules and regulations. So, but what I learned from it though was that I got to meet a lot of great people, a lot of great talents from all over the area, and I got to see how other people think. So for me, it's great. But do I have a passion for politics? Absolutely. Do I ever want to get into politics? I'd love to, but I think I'm so deep into the business that I'm going to stay in my lane. Just like what the current administration right now on the federal side, stay in your lane. Stay as a business person. You might think that the business mentality can work in politics, but politics is its own universe, and business is its own universe, and that's why they're not like this, but they're two. They have to work together, and eventually when they work things out, they can become one. But it takes a lot of patience, and it takes the willingness of people working together, and to get that magic and that whole energy to happen, you need to have balance, and that's how many council members sit on your city?
There's 7 of us.
7, including a mayor. So
no,
so
including the mayor, 7. Yeah.
So okay, so 6 council members and 1 mayor.
Yeah.
Okay, so he's the tiebreaker, possibly, yeah. So,
but and it's interesting because you said that, and I appreciate that. And again, and as you know, I'm a big fan of yours. I know many of my
you.
friends. We listen to your, listen to you almost every week here. So
Yeah,
again,
I'm gonna start plugging Raj's Pizza Place so I can start. Well, I can't because then Ruben's gonna get upset at me because I'm working out and my cheat days are on Sunday. Sunday I can cheat. So,
but like you said earlier, it's about balancing. For me, I'm lucky enough that every morning I run 5 to 6 miles every morning. Just to, run, jog, walk.
Is that your warm up or is that your workout?
No, that's, again, when I say run, I'm talking about running, walking, jogging, crawling.
I'll tell you a quick funny story. Just because it's running. I remember when I came up, I'm like, this lady was like, oh yeah, hey, you ever want to go on a run? I'm like, all right, yeah, cool. It's like, what, a mile, 2 miles? She looked at me all weird and she says, I'm doing like 8 to 10 miles a day. I was like, ooh, okay. I'm like, I'll pass on the run. just doing three work. I do jump ropes before that's my warm up.
Right.
And I do, sometimes I go 3 to 6 3-minute rounds of doing jumping jacks.
Right.
Of doing the ropes, jump rope. Oh man. It's dying. I'm dying. So anyhow, I know you were saying about running. Yeah.
No, it's funny because like I said, every morning when I see other runners out there and they're passing me, I'm like, hey, I'm 50. I'm about to be 51 years old, so there's a reason why I don't run so fast, But it's keeping that balance, And again, I'm lucky enough to be, working out with Coach Sarah. She, a local business owner here, and she really works us out really, really well. So, it's about finding that balance. But, going back to you mentioned about thinking outside of the box, again, where the city was going and where we're headed, we've designated Gilroy to be a recreation tourism destination. Where, right now we're working with the San Jose Sharks. There's a possibility we might build an ice rink out here, Gilroy Gardens, we've got a lot of great things happening out here, and I think the momentum is there, and we're moving forward, and I'm so glad to be working with a outside of the box thinking council, because again, it's like, how do we make Gilroy better? You mentioned earlier the outlets, which I appreciate everything that they've brought into the city, but that can't be our only way of generating revenue, and I think headed the direction of a recreation tourism destination is something that we're moving full steam ahead with, and I think that you're going to see in the next 4, 5, 10 years, Gilroy's going to be different, for the better.
Well, we always want to go for the better. We can, we'll hit those bumps and hit those worst bumps on the way to the better. Let me ask you, infrastructure-wise, and by the way, Fred, I don't put a time limit on my show, man. I love conversation, man. I can go on for days on this. So I just want to be respectful of your time. Are we good on time? We're in an hour and 7 minutes now.
You just give me the hook when you're ready to finish up, brother.
No, man. I get excited because I see a lot of opportunities in the city of Gilroy because it's not. But does the infrastructure, meaning the police, fire, water, sewage, does it have the infrastructure to be able to develop and do some high density type developments? Because I'm telling you right now, it's I know we want to keep our cities cute and there might be some pushback, but you guys have a major rail line going right down the middle of your city. And that's never going to change. That railroad is always going to be there. How can you activate, and have there been thoughts of, and I know that there's a right at the beginning, I think it's 10th Street, there's a high density, it looks like there's some high density development that's gone up. I don't know if it's new or if it's something that's, but I'm telling you, man, I would not steer away from doing some type of high density mixed use high rise development. And when I say high rise, I'm not talking about a 50-story right. I mean, it wouldn't be sexy to have a rooftop in the city of Gilroy, right, with a high rise. No, I'm kidding. But San Jose, I mean, our tallest buildings right now are 22 stories because our airport gets in the way, unfortunately. If not, we'd probably have some skyscrapers here. But, I mean, has there ever been that type of conversation?
Oh, yeah. No, we've had that conversation. And I think, our way of thinking is smart growth.
Okay.
When we look at that, it's not, I'm not for no growth. I'm for smart growth. You start looking at everything that we have. And again, our downtown is a heartbeat of our city, just like with any city. And this council, we just approved we're going to build a new parking lot in downtown, and so we're really moving forward. And we're seeing a lot of those vacant buildings are now being occupied. I think we're at the lowest vacancy rate. Obviously, COVID has stopped people from finishing their work, or people wanting to come in. And again, unfortunately, we've had to lay some employees off. But the first message I gave to my city manager and fellow council members is we need to work to get those jobs back. Because again, I don't want to forget about those folks who sacrifice, obviously, and again, and I think where we're going as a city and the way that we're thinking, our partnerships that we have with the chamber, our business, downtown business association, and other agencies is tremendous. And we're moving forward. And I think that's where, for me, and that's part of the reason why I'm running for re-election, is I don't want that momentum to stop. And I made myself a promise 4 years ago. I said, when I'm on there, I want to be a champion. I want to be that guy who's going to fight for businesses. And I have to tell you, one of the local businesses, the Water Warehouse, great little business out here, and they were ready to leave Gilroy. And I got a hold of the owners of what can we do to keep you here, and right. Luckily enough, we were able to do that, and because this guy provides jobs, local jobs, and revenue and stuff. And that's how I work. I talk to business owners. If there's Let's find out what's going on. I don't wait until a council meeting, and it's like, let's find out what's going on. We want to be open for business. You want
to think, and again, please, I say it not by telling you what to do, but I'm just saying, I'm the businessman. I'm dealing with the council. Obviously, we're looking for opportunities, because at the end of the day, it has to pencil out. Right. And there's a misconception or a misperception that because you own a business, you're cash. You're just cash rich and blah blah blah. Right. Well, it takes with all the taxes, all the different things that come into putting into a business. It's hard work. So we're always looking for opportunities. I'm gonna tell you right now, I know in my heart of hearts, I'm gonna be doing something in the city of Gilroy. I'm already working on some things. I've already have a couple of plans and ideas. Good. And I think that what we look at as business people is traffic. People doesn't have would people from, let's say, Eagle Ridge, will they come down to the downtown if we offer them something that would get them out of their homes, or does it have to be closer to their areas, or do we create our own high density areas where we can have that mix of I'm telling you, man, people that something near that railroad track. I keep saying that. Don't be surprised if my development group is the first ones to build some kind of mid-rise next to that, because there's a lot of opportunities.
There's a lot of opportunities. You're right. And then again, one of the other projects I talked about, sort of the recreation tourism destination, is our gourmet alleys, our famous gourmet alley. And we're working with the partners and to revitalize that. And so. You have new businesses out there, so we got, and then we're talking about a bike park, so we got a lot of great things. And then we have Gilroy Gardens out here, so we have the infrastructure. Obviously there's still a lot of work that needs to be done, obviously, but I think we have the necessities, we have the type of big partnerships and businesses that, why would you not want to invest in coming to Gilroy?
What's the population right now in the
we're looking at roughly about 55,000, 56,000, close to 60,000. So again, Gilroy's growing. Yeah. And again, for me, it's how do we bring jobs, sustainable jobs, plus year doing that 3-hour round trip commute to Stanford to San Jose, it takes a toll, and why can't we get businesses like Google and Amazon out here now, let's make sure that our local residents are, the first in line when they're hiring or when they're giving back money to their communities. Gilroy should be who they work with. And I think for us, that's huge, and some people don't like the fact that they're here, and I understand that because they bought a lot of land, but you know what? It's said and done. Now let's make something positive out of it. Let's work with them. It's not us against them. It's not. It's us together. And let's work together, and let's make Gilroy even better than what it is today.
Absolutely, and it's going to happen. It has to happen because it's the world is ever changing, and if you continue to go at that pace, it kind of goes back to what you say about smart growth. You have to have smart growth. So let's just say a 60,000 people population. What do you consider smart growth in increments of every 5 years? What does the population look like in growth to you? Because I mean, you only have so many homes in there, so unless you build more homes, but what does that, and that's a question that I'd like to know. I mean, as a person outside, how do cities look at it? I know that San Jose worked on their 2040 plan. They've revised all their stuff, and that's what they use as their guide for growth. City of San Jose has hit over 1 million people population, and just my district alone, District 3, is 97,000 people, so I'm already bigger than the city of Gilroy as a whole, but what is a smart growth?
Yeah, that's a great question. Again, it's like, you look at, people wanting to move to Gilroy. I mean, for many reasons, and which you laid out earlier, but Gilroy is expensive. It's becoming expensive out here, and
supply and demand. When you don't have people that own, and let's say the people that own the property move out and they want to rent it. Well, supply and demand. The reason why the prices are going up is because there's not much. And if next thing you know, homes are not selling, and there's a home that becomes desirable. The weather in Gilroy, amazing. Yeah. You're not congested with a bunch of noise because you only got a freeway and Monterey Road that go through both you guys and Morgan Hill. So you can still see the birds flying in the air. So it's a desirable place to be. It's actually a cool valley.
Right. But I like what you're mentioning. And again, sort of, we have to look at sort of, like you said, the supply and demand, obviously, which, we have new homes that are being built, obviously, and again, but, you're seeing more people knowing Gilroy is a place to be, so obviously it's something as a council we talk about all the time, and we really look at it and say, okay, look, this is where we're at today. We're not going to be like this 2 years, 5 years, 10 years down the road. So let's be smart about it. Let's as a council, making sure that we're working together. If there's something that the city needs, and again, I look at it this way. The city's not in the business to make money. We're in the business to provide services and resources and whatever it may be to our residents. And like I said, when you talk about things that we've done, you
need to provide the infrastructure as well.
Because, like I said, we just voted on. We're hopefully going to be building another fire station. We advocated and we got close to $15 million to do First Street, repave First Street. Which is, First Street takes you. It's the gateway. Takes you to Salinas, or Monterey out there. And again, you look at that. You look at our downtown revitalization, what we're doing, our downtown parking, economic development partnerships that we have. I mean, we've got, we're working really, really well. And I think, again, it's I have to give credit to my fellow council members who, but we also know we have a lot of work to do.
Yeah, it takes a team.
Takes a team. And like I said, it can't be one voice that says, I'm against everybody. I'm fighting for mine and not yours. And it doesn't work like that. And for me, as a council member, that's right. No, and I have to tell you a funny, awesome story. When I was on the school board for 8 years, I sat next to one of my fellow trustees, Mark Good, and him and I didn't agree on everything, right? But we sat next to each other for 8 years. They tried to separate us, but no, we sat next to each other. So we helped each other out, and I didn't agree with you. But you know what? I respect you and I love you, brother. And it's like, we'll work together the next time. Yeah. And that's how I am with my, most of my council members. I'll text them and say, hey, I appreciate that. Or, hey, you didn't like what I said. I'm sorry. Hey, and that's how you have to work. But when you come in all guns blazing and I'm going to make change and this and that, it doesn't work like that. It doesn't work
coming in all Johnny Big Pants.
Right.
It doesn't work. And you're right. And I'm glad to hear this. And I'm very glad that I had you here tonight with me, because I really, again, for some reason, Gilroy is calling my name. I don't know why yet. I know that I've had business opportunities and interest in that area, and just South County is just it's calling my name, and I'm looking forward to coming down there. But again, I'm happy to know that there's people like you that are on the council that are still connected with the community, and I'm glad to see that that the economics hasn't what's the word without being offensive here? It hasn't corrupted the goodness of what the council and the mayor, you guys all stand for. Now, I know a few of them. I've met the mayor. Mayor's a great guy too. I mean, he's been I know that he's got his position, and I'm not going to repeat him, but whatever. It is what it is. But the council as a team, everyone has to come in as the team and make those decisions. So let me ask, because by this time I'm starting to run out of thoughts. But and I always ask my guests this: is what is it that you would want to say to people to motivate, inspire, maybe turn on that switch? People that are watching tonight, listening to you, so there's people that have aspirations to become to serve the community. You don't have to be a council member to be to serve the community. You can. I've sat on 2 boards. One for the Chavez Family Vision Board for Cesar Chavez. I've sat on the PAL board for City of San Jose. And I was able to bring my skill sets to help them grow and get them to. What would you tell the world out there to again click it on and get them to maybe one day sit in your seats or walk in your shoes?
You gave me goosebumps when you asked me that question, because I tell you, it takes me back. When I first decided to run the very first time, almost 20 years ago. And for me, it was, I tell folks that I talk to, I work with, you have to take a chance. Don't be afraid to take a chance. You can't succeed without trying, and you may fail, but you know what? You get back up and say, you know what? I learned, and I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it better and work hard at it. And for me, I think those are the things that have motivated. It's about your constituents. It's about the community. And for me, and that's what keeps me going. And I think, and understand, you have to be humble. You have to be humble. Because once you start saying I'm bigger than everybody else, and it doesn't work like that.
Be careful with those words. Be careful with those words.
Right. But and I hear people, and I've gone to so many political events and stuff, and I hear people the way they talk sometimes. I'm like, that's not me. That's not me. And I don't know if I mean, when I was in San Jose, I helped. I was one of the co-founders for the Latino Leadership Alliance and the Academy. And
I went through the Academy. I'm on LLA. Yeah, actually. Well, since we want to talk about that, I was actually the one that came up with the idea to do the gala, the dinner for the fundraiser, and people were like, a dinner? I'm like, yeah, and I sponsored the first one at the Capitol Club, and boom, now unfortunately this year, but it went from the first one being the inaugural, which I was happy to be a part of the inaugural, and then it just blew up. And same thing that I did with the and I don't want to say I did, we did with the Cesar Chavez dinner. I mean the breakfast. We took it from the Holiday Inn, which was about 225 people. I'll give them 250, and we doubled and sold out to 500 people at the Fairmont Hotel. Yeah, you have to think outside the box. You have to think outside of the box. And I'll give you another example. I just said, I was honored to be part of that founding group, and I remember when we decided to do the Leadership Academy. I wanted to be on the board of Holiday, and I don't know what politics have happened, but I'm not on the board. Anyways, politics. Exactly. I remember we were at Stanford when I was there. We met with the university presidents, and this is our vision, this is our goal, and that's how sort of the academy came about. But yeah, you're talking about all that stuff, and for me, it's when I look at my positions, and it's just not whatever position, if it's a neighborhood group, whatever it is, be willing to take that chance, get to know people, but understand that you have to work with everybody. Yes. And I've met so many great people. And I remember when I was on the San Jose Evergreen College Board, 2 years into it, I was president of the community college trustees, and I was on the community college board that oversaw that California Community College chancellor, and then when I got onto the
the Gilroy School Board, I was vice president of the Latino K through 12 Association. So it's like you have to be willing to go out there and take a chance. And I remember, one of my great mentors, Dr. Ron Garcia at Stanford, and he's the one that provided me my job and mentorship out there. And I remember, he says, Fred, he says, I'm gonna give you some advice. I said, sure. He says, are you shy? I said, no. He says, if you are, get over it. I said, oh, because you can't be the guy in the back of the room that's afraid to do anything. And I remember we had that conversation with some students at San Jose State, and he told them, you guys should be up in the front row saying, what can I do? Let's do this, right? And, again, but also find somebody. It doesn't have to be somebody of your own race, color, whatever. Find somebody that believes in you, and utilize that and understand that they're trying to help you. And, we talked about my brother Oscar, the fire captain. When we were at Evergreen College, we were in this program, the Enlace program, where they set up us with mentors, and he got lucky enough at 18, 19, 20 years old to be partnered with somebody who was in the San Jose Fire Department. And, he became one of the youngest firefighters in San Jose and one of the youngest fire captains in San Jose, Latino captains. And so you have to be willing to go out there, find that person that believes in you. And I tell folks, you reach out to me, I will do everything I can. People always ask me, how would you describe yourself in one word? And I think I would use the word loyal. I'm a loyal person, and I'm somebody that if we build a partnership or friendship, I am going to be there through thick and thin, and I don't expect anything in return from anybody. And I think people need to understand that not everybody is against you. Find those people and be strong enough to say, I don't need 1,000 friends. I just need 5 strong friends that believe in me, and use that as a motivation, but also look at, your upbringing. My master's, I'm a product. We're all a product of our environment, right. and like you said, where we're at today in this country, I remember 40, 50 years ago, what my parents had to go through, and that drives me to say, I want to make change. I want to make change for the better, but I also want to give back. And that's where, again, when I group, it's mentorship opportunities, internships, I have to pay it forward, and I see where my kids, strong-headed kids, they don't ask for anything. They know what I do, and they support me, and they're out there walking with me, precinct walking. And to me, it's like, wow, that's what it's all about for me. It's all about family. But again, if I didn't take that chance, that scary, scary chance, back in 2002 when I ran for the college board, I wouldn't be here.
Well, everyone's got to start somewhere, man, and that's great. No different than in business. No risk, no reward. I had to write a quote down because while we were talking, it's fire forges the steel, and iron sharpens iron. And those have been really, I've been using those really a lot lately because I've been going through a lot, even as I'm going through all of this craziness. Launching a business in the middle of right in the heart of and it's not a new business because it's something that I've done in the past, but it's tougher because it's not that easy to navigate. And then we're on week 27. This pandemic is going on now for 29 weeks, 8 months. I mean, this is crazy what we're all going through, and we've all had to adapt. So again, it's important to have community leadership like yours and others around, that have that compassion and understanding, that have gone through obstacles in life. Like I talked to one of my business partners today, and COVID-19, he's like, COVID-19, he's Latino, he's hardcore. He's like, we're Latinos, man. He goes, we've been dealing with a version of COVID-19 all of our lives. He goes, we've always had to work hard. So this is just and he didn't take disregard. He used it as an analogy. Yeah. And I understood because it just seems that we've just always been working hard and trying to be successful or find that, we're trying to reach that higher level. So le damos ganas and we're not afraid, that we can't be afraid. And if not, then, if you got Latino older brothers or, even the younger ones, they'll pick on you. They'll start calling you, they'll start teasing you. And then you're like, oh man, now you're getting picked on. But that's the way it goes down, man. And you're right. We are who we associate with. If you're gonna, if right now, if the council is a team of big thinkers and thinkers that want to make things happen versus, everyone going in their own direction because they have their own agenda, then nothing is going to get accomplished. And then that's where, people, government gets attacked because they look at a bunch of people and they're like, oh, look at them. They're all going every direction. They can't even get things together. And then that's where the stigmas kick in, you know. But, again, I don't need to preach to the choir. You know what you've gone through. You have enough years in politics, Fred, I want to thank you again, man. I'm gonna wrap it up for us. I know that I've taken an hour and a half of your time. I know you got family. I want to say thank you for sharing your part of your story. And like I said, an hour and a half isn't enough. We can to talk about what Fred really all of your background. But I wish you luck in the race. You have my support. Please, if there's a way people can either participate, I don't know. Every city has different rules. Please put your website on how people can reach, possibly even donate, and not maybe just reach out to have a conversation. Hey, I'm interested in coming to the city of Gilroy, either to live or to do business, and I would like to learn from a council member. What are the pros and cons? And I know there's no cons. It's only pros.
Right.
So
And thank you for your time and for inviting me. And really quick, again, I just want to you mentioned about my campaign. And again, I would be honored to continue serving my community. And I humbly seek the votes of those Gilroy residents for re-election. And for those that are interested in, like you said, I think one of the things that I have not in 16 years have not gotten good at is asking for funding, for money, and it takes money to run a campaign. And, for those that want to learn more about me, want to help out, want to contribute, I ask you to check out my website. It's votefredtovar.com, all one word, votefredtovar.com. And you'll learn a lot about me. And again, I just want to just say happy birthday to Patricia. I want to say happy birthday to my brother Rudy. I want to say happy birthday to my mom, who her birthday is tomorrow. Unfortunately, again, with her dementia and everything that she's got going on, she doesn't, she won't understand it, but there's the love of my life.
She's not tripping, man. She's not going down without a battle
she's
either.
Not going down. And again,
you're gonna give her another year. She's gonna be like, "Ike, like what?"
No, I tell you. And again, just a reminder to all, those that are in Gilroy or those afar, go out there and vote.
Yes.
I think one of the proudest moments of my life is sitting down with my parents and helping them understand what they're voting for. And we just did this on Sunday. Me, my dad, my mom. We'll fill out the ballots, and for me to see them voting like that is, again, it's our right to vote, but we also it's our opportunity to voice, what we believe in. And I encourage everybody, young and old, vote, please. And again,
I'd like to ask. It's not even a favor, but I think I want to create an awareness. We're having the media's picking up. It's going to go through social media. Please, have the police department, have the local officials, the registrar, everybody. Let's pay attention to our voting bins. Let's really believe in our democracy and our voting, that our votes do really count, because I know a lot of people. I've been voting since the minute I turned 18. I have been voting till this day. I'm proud every time. I love to deliver I don't like to mail it in, even though I get my ballot in the mail. I like to go and get the little sticker, and I feel that I've done my duty as a citizen and as a person that loves my country, that I've done my job. Let's create an awareness and let's be proactive, not we're antagonists, because there's also that kind of language that's being spilled out. Let's bring decency back to our politics, whether it's local, state, or federal, or worldwide. Let's bring back the decency of what it means to be human and to have that soul, that kindness, so that because it's just crazy to see the deterioration of all of that. And just again, it's whether it's through people that are the upbringings, the social media, the media, everyone is to blame. Everyone has to take some responsibility, but I would love to make sure that you, as a council member, and all your other colleagues, and the mayor, and your county supervisor, that you guys really stay proactive in South County to make sure that the ballot boxes are secure and protected, so that so that we don't have, we don't have any tragedy with our votes, man. Because
Right.
people
Yeah,
are gonna
and,
get, people are gonna get creative, man. I mean,
well,
I don't even want to throw out ideas because we never know who's watching, but
right.
people. You know what? If you can wait to the day of and go drop it, fill it out, and then drop it off in person, great. If you have to mail it in, or if you have to go drop it off at a box, maybe we can be proactive in picking those up on a regular basis versus sitting out there because, again, it's just.
No, and that's a very important message. And I have to say, I give credit to our city staff. I mean, they're on top of it, and yeah, like you said, I mean, I trust people, but again, we know what's going on in the world today, and I think that our city staff is monitoring that and making sure, and again, we got the best fire and police in the country. I love to say that because they're great people, man. And again, and for those, like you said earlier, I asked you, I welcome you to come visit Gilroy. Yes. You got my website, you got my email, it's all on there. Give me a call. Would love to show you around. And I obviously every morning when I run by Ruben's place in the morning, I do see you there working out. I'm afraid to box with you, man, because you look like you're already ready.
I'm becoming a badass, man. I'm 11 weeks in. I'm like, for 11 weeks, I've been coming down to the city of Gilroy, and I just keep falling in love with Gilroy.
Well, brother,
there's something down there. I'm like, what is down there? And well, we won't even. I don't want to throw out any other idea.
Yeah. Well, like I said, next week's my birthday, man. So I invite you to come. Hey, you don't even have to buy me dinner, man. Don't worry about it.
We're having pizza at Raj's today.
You got it. But yeah,
all right. Well,
again, but I thank you for this opportunity, man. And like I said, I'm excited, for this election, and I look forward, if reelected, to working with whomever's on there. I know we're gonna have a new mayor, and I look forward to working with them. And for me, it's let's do what's right for the citizens and make sure that we're representing everybody, everyone, and that's what I believe in. Is I will fight for you on no matter what side of town that you're on, and I won't, pressure won't change my vote. If I believe in it, that's what I stick to, and I think that it's done me well. And I'm a champion for local businesses and champion for hiring within. And, for me, it's like, let's keep this going and let's get people like you to say, hey, Gilroy is where I'm coming to invest.
I'm coming. So it's just a matter of time. So definitely, again, Fred, thank you very much for being here this evening with us and with me and with all of us that are watching. Yeah. I want to thank everybody that's out there. Please make sure to leave a comment. I've actually put your website up on our comments. And Fred, have a wonderful evening. We will catch up. I'm going to put you backstage really quick, and we can catch up backstage. Thank you again, and good luck.
Thank you, brother.
Again, guys, anyone that's watching from the city of Gilroy, make sure to support Fred Tovar. And cast your votes. Make sure that you protect your votes, and everyone's vote counts. It counts. I want to believe in that, and that I don't want to believe what negative rhetoric is being pushed out there. I want to believe that my voice is heard and that it counts. So, Fred, thank you very much. I'm going to throw you backstage, and I'm going to close it up here with everybody.
Thank you, everybody.
Wow, I want to say thank you to our council member, Fred Tovar, from the city of Gilroy, for being here this evening with me and with you, everyone that's watching. I want to thank everyone that's participated and left comments. Maria Sid in the house, Farmers Insurance. Hello. Jose Rodriguez, my boy Ruben Guerrero in here. Raj has been in here. Connie De Costa. Hey, great doing business with you. I'm looking forward to doing more business with you and all of your different companies that you manage. Rudy Romero in here. Jeff Merlino, what's up, my brother? Straight from Las Vegas. My boy Timo in the house. Man, I miss you. I can't wait for the world to open up so that we can all catch up again. I want to thank everyone that was here. I want to thank, again, Fred Tovar for being a great sport tonight and for sharing and opening up his life with us and being able to be open. Serving in politics and serving for communities, it's an open book. There's no secrets here, and if you have them, they're eventually gonna come out. So it takes a very strong mindset, very unique skill set to be in the political world. So much props to everyone that's running. I give you much credit because I ran for council. I know you get to find out who your real friends are and who the alleged friends you had are, and and don't be afraid to really take those risks. You want to serve your community, do it. That's the way that you make things happen. You got to take that risk. So again, I want to thank everyone for joining me tonight. Don't forget to join me every Wednesday, 7 p.m. on the West Coast and 10 p.m. on the East. And I got a great guest coming, two guests that are coming in next week. My boy Rolando Bonilla, who is, I call him my boy, man. When you're going to see us, we act like we've known each other since we were kids. I'm looking forward to having him on the show. Right before that, I'm going to have Perla, his wife, on the show. We're going to be talking about their consulting agency and what they do for political groups and for messaging for cities and communities, school districts, and all kinds of great stuff. So I'm looking forward to having both of them on the show next week. And then we're going to wrap it up at the end of the month with Andres Quintero talking about education and the things that he's involved in or was involved in his past. He's got a good story to share, and look forward to having him on the show. Again, I want to thank everyone. Don't forget, you can visit my site, MauricioMejia.live. My books are selling. Smoke and Mirrors is... I'm very proud of what my book is doing. My second book, my business book, is doing well as well. And I'm, again, just want to invite you, if you're looking to continue to run your business, starting a business, or having some issues in your business, feel free to reach out. I got plenty of ideas that some will work, some might not work, but you got to start having that conversation, because you got to power through times that we're going through. And I don't want to be the one that says it, but before it gets better, it's going to get worse, and we got to get power through what we're dealing with today. So I want to thank everyone again. I will see you guys next week.
It's Mauricio Mejia Live. Entertainment guru, Silicon Valley entrepreneur, author, and speaker. It's Mauricio Mejia Live every Wednesday night, 7 p.m. on the West Coast and 10 p.m. on the East. It's Mauricio Mejia Live.
Bringing to you real people, real day-to-day life experiences, and real business opportunities.
If you dare to step up. Join the thousands of viewers around the world
And become a part of the conversation.
Mauricio Mejia Live every Wednesday on Facebook and YouTube.
It's Mauricio Mejia Live.